Good evening, everybody. I am your host, Jack Remington of the Jack Remington Political Analyst channel. Welcome back to February 2023. This video is February 2023. 28 days. We have 28 questions. Now, here's some things I want to talk about. They're all true or false questions here, okay? And I'm going to give you one big hint. They're all either all true or they're all false. And I'll give the second hint at the end of the video. Let's start off by the very first question here. I just can't contain myself. I got off the script. I haven't even started the video yet. Conservative fraud and Trumpist Nikki Haley is running for president. So I'll put the screenshot up here from this guy named David Leak called stridentconservative.com. They kicked me off like 5 or 6 years ago because I made a disparaging comment about Barack Obama, the chosen one. I know it doesn't make sense when you first hear this that a conservative site would kick me off for saying something like that, but that's a different video for a different day. And I will have a upcoming video about this Nikki Haley either tomorrow or later this week, because she's supposed to make the announcement February 15th. So is it true or false that conservative fraud and Trumpist Nikki Haley is going to run for president? True or false? All right. Question number 2. I heard the story about these illegal alien migrants that are in New York City thanks to Mayor Adams. He's trying to look at me. I'm a retired cop. I'm a Democrat, and I got the black vote and some of the brown vote, and I'm in power, but I'm not going to do my job. That Mayor Adams. So now I want to show the world how to treat these migrants. He puts them into these $500 a night hotels and motels and these swanky places that the citizens of this country, including me, could never be able to afford to stay there not one night. And I heard this story about these illegal alien migrants that are really unappreciative of America's kindness and caring gesture by this Mayor Adams. Is that true or is that false? Question number 3. I also heard that these same illegal alien migrants refused food, started fights, smashed windows, put several of them of their own kind in the hospitals with stabbings and everything else. A baseball bat was involved, a blackjack and brass knuckles. I don't know where they got these tools from. Cell phones, and they're all overweight. They weigh more than I do. You know, the Joe Walsh version. That's the theme of this video. Let me put the screenshot up here. I used to love Joe Walsh when I was a teenage boy growing up. I just thought he was cool as hell. The Joe Walsh, his album Life's Been Good, the song Life's Been Good, track 8, and he has a part of the lyrics here. I have a mansion, forget the price. Ain't never been there, they tell me it's nice. I live in hotels, tear out the walls. I have accountants, pay for it all. So when I heard this thing about Mayor Adams and migrants doing this, it made me think of Joe Walsh. So for the last couple of days, my brain's been germinating with Joe Walsh themes here. So that's the theme of this video. I know I started with Nikki Haley, the traitor, but it's just Joe Walsh, in my opinion, is a better person than all these people, except Trump. Question number 4. I heard the story that the President Trump had his Mar-a-Lago offices raided for some of these White House documents. True or false? Okay, question number 5. I also heard that the FBI raided Trump businesses' offices or anything related to a retired president. It's the first time in American history. Is that true or is that false? Question number 6. I heard that President Joe Biden also had in his Corvette closet in Delaware, the FBI just looked through, but did not raid Joe Biden and found similar White House documents. True or false? Question number 7. I heard that Joe Biden took these documents while he was vice president under Barack Obama. True or false? Question number 8. I heard that Trump had been negotiating with the National Archives for 8+ months before the Attorney General Garland sicked the FBI after him. True or false? Question number 9. I overheard that these documents that Trump supposedly had were properly secured and were approved of the storage procedures by both the National Archives and the FBI, and with no comment from the White House when asked about it. Is it true or false? Question number 10. I heard that some FBI agents went through Melania Trump's underwear, panties, and nighties closet and actually wore her hat. And there was a photo taken of someone wearing her hat. So this site, the Sacramento Bee, made a Photoshop of Merrick Garland wearing one of her hats or her fedora. But they were looking for documents. True or false? And I think it's the easiest question of them all, isn't it? And by the next easiest question number 11, I heard that when the FBI went through Joe Biden's house, they not even come close to Joe Biden's underwear. Easy question, isn't it? True or false? Question number 12. I heard that Joe Biden's documents were not even secured at the minimum clearance level, according to the standards of both the National Archives and the FBI. Another easy question. I know I'm softballing you today. Right, Joe Walsh? Question number 13. I heard that the White House documents that Joe Biden was caught with actually were Barack Obama's when Barack Obama was president and Joe Biden was vice president. And the vice president does not have any constitutional authority, only the president of the United States. True or false? Question number 14. I heard that National Archives jumped the shark first and put out an official statement defending Barack Obama when there was no inquiry made whatsoever about Barack Obama. Another softball question, true or false? Question number 15. I heard that the National Archives management are all either Bill Clinton or Barack Obama appointees and supporters and hate Donald Trump. Another easy softball question. I mean, if you guys get any of these questions wrong, you shouldn't subscribe to my channel. That means you cannot compete with me. And we don't want that, right? Okay. Question number 16. I heard that Stormy Daniels is back on Twitter attacking Donald Trump again. True or false? Question number 17. Despite Stormy Daniels hiring this publicist that's going to do her dirty work for her on Twitter, and I'm surprised Elon Musk hasn't kicked her off yet, I heard that Stormy Daniels is now saying that she was telling the truth all this time. I know, very contradictory, isn't it? So, Stormy Daniels, if you're telling the truth, Donald Trump was just paying just to get rid of you. He didn't even have, you admitted it on that Inside Edition that you did not have sex with him. You weren't even never even alone with him. So, which story is true? Which one are you telling the truth about? I mean, not that we really care. I don't care what Donald Trump did when he was a private citizen 20 years ago. It has nothing to do with him being president of the United States. Question number 18. Oh, I heard Stormy Daniels sued the attorney Michael Cohen for stealing her hush money, and she actually won her case. If that's true, why is she bashing Donald Trump now? Well, we all know the reason why. They're trying to keep him running for president. They're dredging up anything they can, anything to keep making him look bad 24/7, 365, because they don't want them shutting off the money spigot so they can keep raiding our U.S. Treasury like they did under Joe Biden. You saw the results, folks. You wanted to get rid of them. You got rid of them. And now, do you like what you've done? Question number 19. I heard that the Democrats and rhinos are all out of the Wild E. Coyote bag of tricks of Acme Company, so they dredged Stormy Daniels out of a storm drain. True or false? Well, I can't answer that my own question, but we'll still count that. I like that. Question number 20. I heard that United States Congressman Joe Biden has given Ukraine a total of $91 billion in 16 months. I want to repeat that one more time. Question number 20. I heard that the United States Congress and Joe Biden has given Ukraine, the nation of Ukraine, the most corrupt country in Asia and the third most corrupt country in the world, and has been for the last 25 years, has given them a total of $91 billion in 16 months. And I'm leading up to something with all this. Question number 21. I heard that the Democrats and rhinos are proposing more billion-dollar aid packages to Ukraine. True or false? And I'm angry about this one. So that's another hint for you if this is true or if this is false. Question number 22. I heard that Joe Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, is quitting. Abruptly. No explanation. Now, Ron Klain was a henchman under Barack Obama. He worked closely with Eric Holder and other piece of shit, Ron Emanuel, these Marxists that Obama gathered together. I can never remember a chief of staff quitting before the incoming president's term had finished his second year. And I've looked at a couple sites already from other different past presidents. This will be a first if Ron Klain quits Joe Biden before he finishes his second year as president of the United States. Wow. Question number 23. Now we're getting to some more goody stuff here. Off Rumble. Video is titled, quote, Nancy Pelosi sold $3 million of Google stock weeks before the Department of Justice launches probe. R.O., whatever that, I think the guy's name is R.O., I don't know what it is. It's true or false? Now let me get back here to the other side here. Question number 24. Off of dickmorris.com, the article is titled, quote, Republicans moving to stop Biden's 401k seizure on his launch alert from February 1st. Is Joe Biden really trying to raid the Americans' 401k that they save so much money for? On one hand, the United States government is bitching about Social Security. They don't want to pay your Social Security that you've paid all your life for. Okay, and they need to make cuts or whatever. So, and they chastise Americans for not saving for themselves. So Americans save for themselves, and now they want to do a little switcheroo on you that they want to invest in things that are green energy, climate change fighting, and blah, blah, blah. And it pays less money and less yield and is even more risky. But if you do that, that's what Joe Biden's trying to hijack your 401ks. Is that true or is that false? And you can tell by the tone of my voice, you can hear in my voice how the hint is whether this is true or false. And if it is, it's a total outrage, folks. And you voted for this. Question number 25. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty here. And I'm really going to This is just incredible what's happening here. The U.S. debt clock. I ran this a couple days ago, and it was set for midnight Eastern Standard Time for February 1st. The U.S. national debt, $31,527,818,384. The debt per citizen, $94,285 per citizen. That's debt per taxpayer, $246,867. Whew. Is that true or false? What is the national debt per second, folks? Anybody know that? The national debt, just the interest per second, is 45, or let's just make round it, $46 per second. True or false? Question number 27. The national debt interest per day, $965 million per day on interest payments off the national debt. True or false? Let me repeat that. $965 million per day, just the interest per day on the national debt. True or false? Question number 28. I think the most sick question that I'm going to present to the people here today. Let me read this headline by Politico, with the Pulitzer Prize, but they're left-leaning. They hate Republicans, they hate Donald Trump, they hate me, they hate you, they hate their country, they're all white people and majority Jewish white Americans. They hate themselves. The article is titled, quote, California stares down $25 billion deficit after years of record cash, end quote. Is that true or is that false? Okay, so now I've given you 28 questions to ponder over. And things that really upset me, things I've been hearing about the last couple of months, and I've been busy with football, busy with the house got another leak. My wife started a new job. We've got things going on. My granddaughter's 4th birthday, so I made sure I took off work for that, and I will from now on. I'm going to spend time with my grandchild, and I'm going to start spending more time with my wife. But when I can, I'm going to get on here, and I'm going to ask the hard questions that no one else is going to want to ask you. You can't be afraid of these people. You can't let them ruin your lives and live in fear. I'm tired of living in fear. So I'm going to ask these questions. And I have some of the answers, but I don't have all the answers, but I got most of the answers. How's that? So 28 questions. They're all either true or they're all false. I think any of us got any brains know what they are. I'm sad to say that this country is in bad shape. And I'm going to close this video out by this I'm going to take another pot shot at Nikki Haley. She kept backstabbing Donald Trump all the time. I knew she was a rhino, and then she's one of these. Look at me, I'm a former big shot from the South. Even though I'm not from, my family's from Asia, and they're not all liked where they're from. But she managed to tread through the waters and did some things right, and ambassador to the United Nations, all that other good stuff. It just galls me that and she's been a politician almost all her adult life. Another Joe Biden, as it were, okay? And people keep saying, well, Joe Biden, he's only been, you shouldn't say that. He's only been in office for 47 years. Yeah, but there was also the 3 years before he even went to law school, he was involved in politics in his early 20s. And in between being the vice president and running for himself in 2020, there was like a 4, 5, 6 year gap. Joe Biden's been involved in politics for almost 60 freaking years, okay? Don't tell me that Joe Biden has not been in politics all his life, that he has been, okay? And the same thing with Nikki Haley. And these other clowns are coming out of the woodwork too. And they all think, these professional experienced, well-trained, well-funded, the best of everything. These politicians, they think that they can do a better job than someone who had no experience, never held a public office, and just came out of nowhere and won in 2016. And he did a great job, whether you like him or not. His policies were sound. No threat of nuclear war, no threat of Ukraine getting invaded by Putin in the first place. Donald Trump held him in check. Donald Trump wouldn't remove the sanctions. Donald Trump, his foreign policy, he got A+++. He got the Kim Jong-un to stop firing the rockets over Japan and Guam and everywhere else. He's trying to start World War III. Hey, look at me, I'm the new kid on the block with nukes. Donald Trump stopped all that, turned him into an ally. I mean, this is Donald Trump, the guy that you keep saying is going to get us into a war and do all these things. And he stopped all the wars, too. He called the troops home. That's why General Mattis, Mad Dog Mattis, he's on 60 Minutes. We're apolitical. We serve the president. And then the day after Donald Trump pulled all the troops back in the last year of his presidency from Syria, from this place, from that place, Afghanistan, whatever, they turned on him. And Mattis said that Trump was terrible, blah, blah. They all come out of the woodwork. And now you know part of the reason why he couldn't trust anybody in his own White House, because they all had an agenda. They all had to keep making their money, whatever interest group that they were in charge of serving. There's the judicial branch that makes the laws, There's Congress that passes the laws, and the executive branch enforces the laws. The executive branch has the cabinet, and there's 22 or 23 cabinet positions now, including the recent ones of FEMA and Homeland Security, which is not doing a good job, by the way. But they all have their little pet agendas. They need more money from Congress, so they're always jockeying for position. It's like 23 horses in a race, and whoever finishes first, hey, Mr. President, my projects come first, and I need more money for. And Donald Trump kept saying, no, we're spending too much money. Donald Trump is the grandparent that no one wants to go over because he makes you take out the trash, he makes you sweep the floor, he makes you make your bed, and you got to brush your teeth and take a shower before you come down for the day, and then he'll give you the $10 allowance, okay? But the other grandparent, Joe Biden, oh, it's okay, let's go get some ice cream. Hey, it doesn't matter, that's okay, we just it doesn't matter. You know, and that's why the grandkids go to the easy grandparent, because here's your $10, sonny, or whatever. You have to earn it. They just give it to you. Okay? So what kid wouldn't want to go to Joe Biden's house if he was their grandparent? But Donald Trump, he makes you earn that allowance. He wants you to save your money. He wants you to be responsible. He wants you to be a good citizen. And he out-politicked them at their own game. He came in with that slogan, "Make America Great Again." It took Hillary Clinton 4-day summit. I forgot where she had her Democrat operatives, including this Schultz lady from Florida that threatened the D.C. police chief over some documents, by the way, and some server. And they had a 4-day summit and spent $200-some million. We need to out-slogan Donald Trump was "Make America Great." And the only thing they come up with, "I'm with her." Okay, they got down to 250 slogans the second day, and they argued over, they whittled it down to half, and they got down to the final few, and they picked "I'm with her." That's all they can come up with. Donald Trump beat them at their own game, and they really can't stand that. It's rubbing salt in their wounds as far as they're concerned. President of the United States, he vetoed every big spending bill that came across his desk because he wouldn't give him his wall. And he was only asking for $6 billion. Let's go ahead and give Ukraine $91 billion in the next 16 months. Why don't we do that? Okay, so Donald Trump beat them at their own game. Now this Nikki Haley thinks she's going to come out, she can do a better job than Donald Trump. Well, we're going to come up with younger, and we need to come up with better. No, that's her way of saying, well, thank you for Donald Trump for putting me in a national prominence, and with that, your help, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. But now I'm going to stab you in the back one more time because I want your freaking job. Not that I can do any better, but I want your job, and I'm a rhino because I knew I couldn't win as a Democrat in South Carolina, wherever else she's from. You have to understand what's happening to our country. You got to have some brain power of your own to figure this stuff out. The mainstream media needs you to hate Donald Trump because that way you won't vote for him. Okay, you want to vote for what you got now from $1.73 a gallon gas, and I'm living in the highest state in the union for gasoline, and it got over to $8 a gallon. Like I said, and I put in the video, if you go back far enough, that we were going to hit $8 a gallon, and we did hit $8 a gallon here in Southern California. It's come down a little bit because your commander-in-chief, Joe Biden, the person that you voted for over Donald Trump, depleted the strategic petroleum reserves that the Sierra Club bashed Donald Trump for recreating, pushed it back up to top capacity in the first place. And I remember that. So Sierra Club, you'll never get another dime out of me. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the rant, but it's part of the video. It's part of the theme here. And Joe Walsh, I kept thinking about Joe Walsh. I'm going to read this part here too. Joe Walsh called himself an ordinary average guy, which is something of a stretch for a man who's written some of rock's greatest riffs, from the James Gang's Funk Number 49 to the Eagles' Life in the Fast Lane in his own Rocky Mountain way. Walsh's offstage exploits are similarly the stuff of legend. He hung with Hendrix, freaked out Elton John, leveled hotel rooms with the likes of Keith Moon and John Belushi, and even ran for president. His platform, free gas for everyone, while consuming enough vodka and cocaine to fell an elephant. Quote, "I never imagined how far down one could go," Walsh told Rolling Stone recently about his years of abuse, "but I went there, and it was a long way back," end of quote. He must have thought about politics to write some of these things in his one song, "The Life's Been Good." So the article goes down, talk about a couple songs, and he finally gets to "Life's Been Good." The stuff about hotels, quote, "I live in hotels, tear out the walls," end quote. Years earlier, the James Gang got asked to open some shows in Europe with The Who when they premiered at Tommy. And over that period of time, one of the scariest things that happened to me ever happened. And that's when Keith Moon decided he liked me. And you know, when he liked you, you just smiled and nodded yes. Especially if you were in the opening band. So he became my guru. And over the course of that tour, he taught me the art of hotel damage, of destroying things, of making things that blow up, of superglue madness and mayhem, and trashing rental cars, just causing much trouble as possible. Oh, man. Then he talks about he hooked up with his manager, Irving Azoff, and he's opening some shows where it was him and the Eagles, and then the Beach Boys, and then Elton John, summer of 1975. I was wild and crazy, he says. Very entertaining to everybody except Elton, who was very nervous around me because I was very unpredictable. He didn't particularly want to stay on the same floor I was at the hotel. So right after that, it was my birthday, and Irving Azoff thought it'd be funny to get me a chainsaw. I was supposed to leave it at home, and then I joined the Eagles, and I took it on the road. One night we checked into a Holiday Inn, and he and I were supposed to have connecting rooms, but we didn't. So I started up the chainsaw, made my own door, and I walked through it, and I said, "Hey, we have connecting rooms now." Irving never dreamed I'd use it, but now he knows about that. Wow. And somewhere here, I lost that part of the article, but he talks about, I did think about politics here and there and how things are happening in our country. I mean, that's all he really says. But the thought process was there. Genius was there. So Joseph Walsh, like the Rolling Stone article, My Life in 15 Songs, you set the tone for this video. I hope you don't vote for Nikki Haley. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Always great to be an American. God bless America. Thank you.